Now at 5, questions raised after a baseball league announced a new team in Fort Scott without the city's knowledge. Plus, the latest on the investigation of a travel agent in Miami, Oklahoma, and
lawmakers grilled Dr. Anthony Fauci for more than 3 hours on the nation's pandemic response. I'm Nicole Skanga on Capitol Hill with what we learned in his first public appearance since retirement.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Fort Scott is requesting information regarding an announced baseball team called the Fort Scott Marshals. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Last week, a press release announced the creation of the Fort Scott Marshals, who would play in the Central Plains Baseball League. But city officials say they were not aware of the announcement and have not signed on for the league. The city has released a statement saying that while they hope to have a summer league, they want to make sure it's a legit league and a good fit for the city. While there is an actual Central Plains Baseball League for Kansas high schools, they say anyone approached by a representative from the Central Plains Baseball League is encouraged to contact the Fort Scott city manager. Tonight on KOAM News, we're going to dig deeper into the league and team announcement, and we're going to hear from a man who says he's on the board of directors for this league. We have an update on the Miami, Oklahoma travel agent who had been accused by former clients of defrauding them. Diane Wyford's company is now facing an eviction. Wyford's been jailed since her arrest last week on charges that she wrote bad checks years ago. We have no word yet on whether she's been charged in the fraud investigation. We've talked with a number of people who claim they paid her thousands of dollars for vacation arrangements that were never made. Well, now an affidavit has been filed to evict Wyford's company, Wyford Tour and Travel, from 103 East Central Avenue in Miami. Authorities in Newton County, Missouri are investigating a weekend murder-suicide. They say 62-year-old William Clanton called police Saturday night to report that he had shot his wife several times and that he had threatened to shoot himself. When authorities arrived, they found 65-year-old Vicki Clanton dead by gunshot wounds and her husband dead by a single gunshot. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at the weather.
It's been a pretty dreary day out there, and we've had a lot of rainfall passing through the morning hours and still into the afternoon. Right now it's 70 degrees out in Joplin and overcast conditions. We do have a few more showers passing through tonight, but currently that main shower that we saw through the day is moving off to the east, and it's a part of a larger system that was passing through Texas, Oklahoma, and now moving through Arkansas. And you've got that bowing out system, so we did have a lot of wind gusts, or strong wind gusts with that specific storm. Now we do have the possibility for a shower or a stray thunderstorm to be passing through tonight, and more rain chances continue tonight and tomorrow. We've got low severe threat, but still going to get some rain. I'll talk about that in just a bit.
See you soon. Dr. Anthony Fauci testified before Congress today on his role during the early days of the coronavirus pandemic. It's his first public appearance since retiring from the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, which he ran for nearly 4 decades. Reporter Nicole Skanga is on Capitol Hill with details.
Dr. Anthony Fauci defended his role in guiding the government's initial response to COVID-19 as House Republicans questioned measures like social distancing and business closures.
These were important when we were trying to stop the tsunami of deaths that were occurring early on. How long you kept them going is debatable.
The Select Committee on the Coronavirus Pandemic has spent 15 months investigating the virus origins. Republicans claim Dr. Fauci tried to cover up a theory it was created in a Wuhan, China lab.
Do you agree that there was a push to downplay the lab leak theory?
Not on my part.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
I think most of the country would find that amazing. I still got 11 seconds.
Well, look at the facts. I've kept an open mind throughout the entire process.
Dr. Fauci said this 3 years ago.
I think that we should continue to investigate what went on in China.
A report out last year showed U.S. intelligence agencies have differing opinions about where the virus came from.
And he belongs in prison.
Democrats say their GOP counterparts are on a political witch hunt rather than a fact-finding mission.
Dr. Fauci shows he is an honorable public servant who has devoted his entire career to the public health and the public interest, and he is not a comic book supervillain.
The investigation has uncovered emails suggesting two of Dr. Fauci's former aides were trying to avoid public record laws. But he said he wasn't aware and didn't conduct official business using his personal email. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Dr. Fauci has received credible death threats since 2020 and fears the negative and violent attitude some people have toward public health officials will discourage younger generations from doing similar work. Jury selection began today in the federal gun trial against President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was indicted on 3 felony charges related to his purchase of a gun in 2018. The trial stems from those charges and possession of a revolver during a time when he was addicted to drugs. Experts say much of the case will focus on the definition of the word addict. If convicted, Hunter Biden could face up to 25 years in prison. Joplin Schools is offering in-person assistance for families who want to enroll for the coming school year. The district is employing 2 secretaries who will help families handle registration today through July 29th. You can find those secretaries in the main front door reception area at Joplin High School. You can get more details at koamnewsnow.com. Still ahead, what's happening with bike sales?
Prices for bicycles are dropping as sales slow down. I'm Danya Backus, and I'll tell you why the industry is facing a rocky road.
But up first, researchers report promising results with a drug to treat metastatic pancreatic cancer. That's next in Health Watch.
Father's Day is just around. I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote.
Topping today's Health Watch, researchers at Georgetown University are reporting promising results with a drug to treat metastatic pancreatic cancer. In a clinical trial with 6 patients taking a drug called BXCL701, 3 of them had significant reductions in a marker that indicates the presence of pancreatic cancer, which is the 3rd leading cause of cancer death. A new treatment is giving hope to cancer patients once considered terminal with the disease. It's called TIL therapy, and it recently received FDA approval. Michael George introduces us to one patient who participated in clinical trials at the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center.
John Kosick of Cincinnati is breathing a little more easily these days.
They don't see any cancer in my scans, which is a plus, right?
The 59-year-old was diagnosed with advanced lung cancer in 2020, despite not smoking for nearly 3 decades. Surgery and traditional chemotherapy didn't keep his disease at bay, so Kosick was recommended for clinical trials of TIL therapy at the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center.
Everything looks stable.
Dr. Kai Hu's work helped win FDA approval of TIL, or tumor infiltration lymphocyte therapy, to treat metastatic melanoma. Now, TIL is showing promise in advanced lung cancers like Kosick's.
We are trying to expand horizon for this treatment and hopefully bring the treatment to more cancer patients to treat more cancers.
TIL therapy works by extracting the body's immune-fighting T cells, growing them in a lab to number in the billions, and infusing them back into the patient. A one-time chemotherapy treatment clears out unhealthy T cells to make space for the new TIL T cells. March 6th marked 2 years since Kosick started the clinical trial, a process he says hasn't been easy, but he's grateful for the outcome.
Yes, I'd go through that again for the result.
Kosick is still working and spending time with his family and grandchildren, time he might not have had without this new treatment. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Now, right now, this treatment is approved by the FDA only for melanoma, and it could be years before it's approved for other types of cancers. More hopeful research at Mount Sinai in New York. Scientists there have identified a neurodevelopmental disorder that's caused by a mutation in a single gene that affects thousands of people worldwide. They say the finding will improve clinical diagnostic services for patients with neurodevelopmental disorders. And people with well-controlled, long-duration type 1 diabetes may still face a high risk of heart disease. That's according to researchers at Harvard who looked at 1,000 people with type 1 diabetes for at least 50 years, most with no kidney complications. They found about 40% had heart disease. The findings might help guide the development of new medications targeted for heart disease in type 1 diabetics. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the recall of possibly contaminated cucumbers.
And we still have some more rain chances coming through. We'll talk right about after the break.
Save big hearing aids.
Well, it's been pretty rainy today and a little dreary, but let's go ahead and take a look outside at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Overcast conditions, but the rain is out of here, at least for the rest of the evening. We have a chance of a shower moving through in the overnight hours, but main threat for severe weather is going to be south of us, Oklahoma City, Texas, and Arkansas. We're in a low threat that was mostly for the storms that passed today. Tonight, like I said, we still have that chance that a few showers and thunderstorms will develop out just west of us, moving into our area after midnight, but isolated and not going to be severe either. So the storms that we had, you can see it kind of bowing out, which means stronger wind gusts were the main threat with these storms. You got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, a couple of flood watches, and those are just going to be south out in Arkansas and Texas, but just north, we're just getting that top end of those rain showers, so we didn't have any type of severe weather. Now, just after midnight, around 2 a.m. to almost 7 a.m., we've got those chances of those isolated thunderstorms passing through. Again, not severe, but it might be loud, might wake you up, and also strong wind gusts are also going to be another threat for these, with our low dropping down to about 66 degrees tonight. Now, we've had stronger wind gusts, about 20-25 miles per hour. Those are going to continue into the morning hours, so right when that next round of isolated thunderstorms will be passing by, so about 3:30 in the morning. We've got some strong wind gusts, Mount Vernon 24 miles per hour, Grove 23 miles per hour, and the rest of us, Pittsburgh, pretty light, Joplin 15 miles per hour, not too bad. Throughout the day on Tuesday, though, winds may be picking up 15 to 20 mile per hour gusts. Not super damaging, but still might blow some loose stuff out in the yard. So watch out for that. And then it starts to die down as we move into the evening hours on Tuesday. Now, rain chances for the next 24 hours. So just after midnight, 1 a.m., over 60% chance. We've got that isolated storms passing through, very isolated, so they'll be passing through, and some of us may not even see some of that rain. And that's going to continue until about 7 a.m. Then that rain chance really drops down to about 20% throughout the rest of the day. We still have chances of showers firing up, but we'll take a look at that future track. So this is about Monday, 8 p.m. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Here comes those chances of those isolated showers and thunderstorms passing by. So this is about 1 a.m. Parsons, Yates Center getting some rain. It'll continue through the area. 4:30 in the morning. That's when we got a nice little shower passing towards Joplin, and it starts to strengthen. Still not severe, but strong. So you might hear some loud thunder. This is 5:30 in the morning, so it might wake you up, and maybe even some lightning as well. It'll pass through. We'll have mostly cloudy skies. Still a chance of a few showers passing through. And then again, Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m., another isolated storm passing by. But main threat, it's not going to be too super widespread, and after Tuesday evening, that threat really drops off. So Wednesday is going to look pretty good, and we do have the sun come back out for a long stretch. Wednesday through Saturday night, we'll get some showers rolling through, and then Sunday and Monday, scattered thunderstorms, and we may see a severe threat with those storms.
At least several consecutive days where we'll get a chance to dry out a bit.
Yes, and warmer temperatures back up into the mid 80s. It's looking pretty nice.
It's starting to look like summer, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks, Lindsay. Hey, when severe weather strikes, you're going to want to stay informed, and you can do that very simply. Just go to KOAM News Now YouTube page, where our weather team will live stream during severe weather events to give you updated information. While you're there, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Coming up, why bike sales are on a decline across the U.S.
Feels good to be. Shop Ashley today.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, whole cucumbers from Florida-based company Fresh Start Produce Sales, Inc. have been voluntarily recalled due to a possible salmonella contamination. Cucumbers were shipped in bulk to more than a dozen states. The FDA says customers have been notified of the recall and the cucumbers have likely been pulled from shelves. However, consumers can reach out to their place of purchase to find out if their store sold the affected produce. Donald Trump has joined TikTok. Trump once tried to ban the social media app when he was president. His post over the weekend featured his attendance at a UFC match in New Jersey, 2 days after a Manhattan jury convicted him on 34 counts in his so-called hush money trial. The Biden campaign joined TikTok back in February. During the pandemic, millions of Americans got out of the house by going for a bike ride. At the time, bicycle sales went into high gear, but since then, it's been a pretty bumpy ride. Daniel Backus reports.
The past 4 years have been a rough road for Douglas Emerson, who owns University Bicycles in Boulder, Colorado.
We're back at 2019 pre-pandemic numbers. It's been a struggle, but we're there.
When the pandemic hit, many cooped-up Americans turned to bike riding as an escape, and sales skyrocketed.
The pandemic, although it was awful for our global crisis, did provide the bicycle industry a much-needed boom, brought over 8 million new riders to our sport.
But overwhelming demand led to a supply chain crunch.
I mean, we sold everything, and then we couldn't get anything.
By the time supplies got back to normal, many people returned to their normal lives and demand dropped. In 2023, bike sales fell 24% compared to 2020.
Now we're battling something that's completely different, and that's a lack of ridership.
Now there's too much inventory, and the prices are being slashed. It's a great time to buy a bike. The margins have shrunk for the dealers, so small bike shops are really struggling.
That struggle includes trying to find enough workers.
Mechanics, young people today growing up in a throwaway society don't grow up taking things apart, putting them back together, so to find good mechanics is a challenge.
Emerson and other shop owners are seeing growing interest in e-bikes, which gives riders an electric assist when needed. It's hoped the bicycles can also give the industry a much-needed boost. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And family-friendly films ruled the weekend box office. The Garfield movie was at the top with an estimated $14 million domestically. If the movie about imaginary friends edged out last week's top draw, Furiosa, Mad Max saga for second. Both earned more than $10 million, with Furiosa taking the third spot. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, more on Dr. Anthony Fauci's testimony today on Capitol Hill. We're going to have that, of course, KOAM News at 6. Now, a blast from the very distant past in Webb City. Dinosaur Dimension, an educational summer program, brings dinosaurs back from the past. Programs show 4 different dinosaurs and allows the kids to name each one. You know what? They might not have been actual real live dinosaurs, but they look pretty good. After getting to meet the animatronic creatures, children are taught the wonders of reading at their local library.
As I said, again, it's just for the community and just getting people to know about the library and just knowledge and just things to do.
Workers say the library creates a perfect, safe place for reading if it doesn't hypnotize you first. You also got a little jump scare or two along the way. That looks pretty good. A lot of little puppet action there, dinosaur style. The weather, it's been just so soggy. We could really use a chance to dry out.
It has. We do have a couple more days. So the rest of tonight, we'll have a couple showers passing through in the overnight hours and then some storms before 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Another round Tuesday evening. After that, we'll have a nice break Wednesday through Saturday. Sunny skies, temperatures in the 80s, looking pretty good. Unfortunately, our next bout of severe weather is going to be Sunday and Monday. Now, after that, I think that we're getting close to the end of severe weather season, so maybe just one more round.
I hope so, and it's going to give us at least a time, maybe late in the weekend, to get those lawns mowed before they go wet again.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 6. Let's make it a great evening.